This was recorded at the Media Joint.
Actually, I don't know if I want to tell this. He really fucked us up too.
So anyway, if you flash your tits, it doesn't work.
Oh.
That is so rogue.
Boy, that's a bit rogue.
Is it even that rogue?
Welcome back to another episode with Skye and Tori. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages.
I know, it's been 2 weeks, Star.
It's just super weird. What's been happening?
Not much, but something did happen this morning.
Yeah,
to
I'm
me.
waiting. We've been waiting to
And it only would happen to me. Strap in, Jockalicious, it's happening. So I literally was driving, minding my business. So like living on the northern beaches, I don't ever really leave unless I come to film.
Here.
Yeah. Or if I do come over, like I'll sleep at Tori's house.
Yeah.
It's a
Or
big
Uber.
hike. Or Uber. So pretty much not driving into the city often. Anyway, I'm driving and I'm like, why is no one driving in the left-hand lane when it's not a bus lane? There was a cop car behind me and a ute in front of me, so I was like, this is chill. And I was probably driving for like 5 minutes until the sirens of the cop car started going off, and I was like, oh fuck, better move out of the way from them. And I moved into the right-hand lane because I was like, he can just then go around. And I was getting really frustrated. I'm like, I hate when you see like an emergency vehicle trying to get through traffic and just no one moves over.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I always get out of the way.
Yeah, you
100%.
need to move out of the way or drop down to 40, I think it is. Like you can't speed or, yeah, you just need to go slow. Anyway, so I move over and then he came into my lane and I was like, oh, he wants me. So then I've pulled over into a bus lane and he's come over and said, did you realise you're in a T3? Da-da-da. It's just before 10 still. And I was like, no, I didn't. Like, obvious. And I said, I was like, oh, sorry, I'm from the beaches. Like, I don't usually leave. Anyway, does the thing. He obviously checked if there was passengers. I said no, but he saw the baby seat. So I was like, oh, he probably feels bad. Went into the car for like 5-10 minutes and I was like, fuck, he must feel really bad. But highways have to give people fines. Like, that's the thing. If it was a copper, I probably would have gotten off it because I was just like,
But also, he doesn't have to. It's not like that big of an offence.
No, but I think the thing is with highways, I think they have a target of how many people they need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, he comes back over and I think he felt so bad that he wasn't making eye contact with me, and he had his cheek to me when he was telling me the fine. He was like, you're going to get a $300 fine, no demerits, it's going to come in the mail. And I was thinking, oh, poor guy, he feels really bad for me. Anyway, drive off and I'm just thinking like, fuck, that would only happen to me. That's so annoying. But no demerit points, so I don't really mind. And I did start feeling bad that he felt bad. And then,
Oh, fuck that.
I just felt bad. And then I realised my aircon was feeling pretty cold. My top fell down. My tip was out.
No way. So he's probably thinking that you're like trying to bribe him. Like,
So I've got a Halter neck on. This whole one's down. So anyway, if you flash your tits, it doesn't work.
Oh my God.
So bad.
Holy shit. That is, yeah. Okay. I was waiting for the punchline there. I was like, yeah, you got to find, like, who cares?
Nah. And do you know what's worse? Is if I want to go to court, he had a body cam on. It would just be footage of me being like, sorry, I'm from the northern beaches. Look at my nipple. Oh, so bad.
Oh my God. I'm dead.
Anyway,
That's so funny.
heaps of like 50-year-old plus, let's say, keep posting the weirdest shit that's like kind of ruthless about like memes and stuff of their husbands. And one really stood out to me.
Was this on Facebook? I feel like they're.
I actually saw this on Instagram.
Oh.
Anyway, it was Trish Johns, and she always posts the funniest things, like just basically rinsing Maddie and her sons. It says, I just bought my husband a get better soon card. He's not sick. I just think he could be better.
That's so funny.
So funny. But then there was another thing that I saw as well on TikTok that actually stuck with me. And it's not funny. It's just like something I thought that, you know, we should talk about. But there was a lady getting her first ultrasound for her pregnancy. The sonographer says, are you aware that you've got triplets? And the chick's like in shock. She was like, no, oh my God, like, whoa, you know, as you would be, because it wasn't IVF or anything. And the sonographer goes, oh, you know, calm down. Da-da. And it, like, straight away I was like, what the fuck? Why would you say calm down? And I read the comments and someone says we really need to start changing our words from calm down to take your time.
Mm.
Because even though she wasn't saying it in a condescending tone, when you're like hormonal or tired from being a parent, saying calm down can be like your last thing. Like, you know, I'm constantly at home. If I smell something weird, I have to run over to the oven to make sure my toddler's not trying to kill us and, you know, burn the house down. So if someone said to me to calm down, I would literally turn around and be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I just really liked that. So trying to change, you know, words out to be kinder to others.
100%. But yeah, back to like older people posting on Instagram and stuff like that. I feel like every time I've hung out with my mum or her friends or my stepmom, whatever, they care about Instagram nearly more than us. They're like,
really?
Oh, this person liked this and they didn't like this and they commented on this. And I'm like, what? Like, you guys really care about this stuff? Like, sometimes mum's like, I'm getting off Instagram. And I'm like, you don't need, what? Like, it's not, how is it affecting you
My
so
parents
much?
are really low key and don't post on Instagram.
Yeah, neither do mine. But they clearly like scroll and stuff, and I'm like, just stop scrolling.
Yeah, my mum's a professional stalker. We already know that. She found Footy Boy in the Maldives, but yeah, she's definitely fly on the wall. Doesn't post anything, but knows a lot about everyone.
They definitely. You think that like we're the only generation that cares, but they definitely
they do
care, and they get involved. They are the ones commenting. They're the ones.
Yeah, 100%. Like a lot of our TikTok comments, I would say, like, since the ones that have gone viral, a lot of our demographic has moved up from just the under 44s to over 44.
Yeah, true.
They're there, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's very interesting.
What's happened with you the last 2 weeks?
I played a festival in Townsville on the weekend, which was super fun. It was sold out, 2,200 people. I played at the Ville. We've been to the Ville.
I love the Ville.
Yeah, it's such a vibe. Townsville in itself is just such a good place. And the crowd's normally like super good. But I was supporting Lude. You know Lude. And live in the down under. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So he's obviously like one of the biggest DJs probably in Australia currently, and one of the biggest like drum and bass acts. And we're in the green room together, and he's like, Tori, what are you going to play? And I was like, like, you know, I'm just going to like, you know, play like a bit of house and like go into a little bit of D&B at the end because like, you know, you're going to play D&B. He's like, I'm freaking out. I don't know what to play. And I was like, you're freaking out. I was like, that's my job. I'm supporting you. Like, how can you be freaking out? He's like, well, I don't know. Like, you're not going to play any like really hectic drum and bass, are you? And I'm like, no, but I'm going to play like a little bit at the end because like, you know, my songs are drum and bass. Some of my songs are drum and bass. And he was fully freaking out.
What is drum and bass?
Drum and bass is what he makes. So it's like really fast, like bass music. You know if you heard it. But yeah, it was funny just watching him freak out, being like one of the biggest acts in Australia currently, and him freaking out about what I'm going to play and then what he's going to play. And then even when we like swapped over, like I stopped and he jumped on, he was just like still like freaking out a bit. I was like, because I freaked out when he was standing side of stage watching me DJ, and then because I was like, oh my God, Lude's watching me, even though he's my friend. But yeah, anyways, it was pretty funny. But him and his girlfriend are fucking legends. Like, they are really cool people.
Who's the GF? Tell us the tea.
I actually don't know her name, but they're just like super bogan and like such legends. They're so much fun. That brings me to my INFE story, because when I got home from Townsville, I hadn't got home yet, but like all my roommates were away, and I get this like really rude message from one of my roommates, and it was like, why the house is fucking filthy, blah blah blah. And like I knew I left the house in a good condition, and there was maybe 2 cups in the sink kind of thing. Like the house was fine. We haven't had cleaners in a while, so it's not like supreme, but like it was fine. And it reminded me the fact that he was complaining about 2 cups being in the sink. And I've literally come home from Cass's hen, so being away all weekend, drinking all weekend, to a bender in my living room, which was one of the most disgusting things ever. I've come home, I'm hungover, and there's 8 people sitting around in my kitchen, and I was like, this is fucked up. And nice enough of them, they actually just like cleaned up, I mean, put the rubbish in the bin and they left, but the house stunk like shit. And there was a dirty tampon in my bathroom, not in the toilet, because my toilet and my bathroom are separate. And someone had clearly had sex in my bathroom because there was handprints on the wall. And the house was like seriously the most disgusting thing ever. So I just couldn't believe that I was getting this like abusive message saying like, oh, you know, the house is fucking filthy, when I've literally come home to a bender and then you took 6 days to clean the house. Like I had to live in that house for like 5-6 days of like not cleaning it up.
I'm still a bit rattled about someone whipping out their tampon and getting a root in the bathroom.
It's fucked. It was so fucked. And like I knew like most of the people that were sitting around the kitchen, like I don't bender. Like I'm not that kind of person. Like I like to go out and stuff as well, but this is like, that draws the line for me. And in my own house, I was like, no, this is not okay. I just think like if you're gonna get angry, you can't, there's got to be a fine line, right? And this is the roommate that never will message me like, hey, I'm having a few people over, like blah blah. But anyways, we're getting kicked out in a month, so no more roommate tales.
No more roommate tales. Maybe in the future. But I feel like if you do live in a share house or anything like that, the best way to get about it is actually having like little systems implemented, like as if you would at work or anywhere else.
Oh no, they have never ever let me have a say. If I said anything like that, like, hey guys, do you mind letting me know? They'll be like, Tori, we're adults, so I'm not telling you, blah blah blah, and they'll just like put me down. So like that's been my time living with them, has been like, I'm never allowed to have my say. I'm never allowed to say that they've done something wrong. Like, and if I do, it's like I won't get spoken to in the house for 5 days straight. And it would be like something little, like, hey, like, can you guys please clean up the rubbish? Like, and they won't speak to me for 5 days because I've asked for something like so small. Or like, hey, can you not have a bender? Like, actually, another story. Our roommate had a bender while me and my other roommate were away, and he tried to act like he didn't, but all of my other friends were there and they told me about it. And like, there was weird things like broken and like alcohol, like drunk and stuff. And he was like, oh, I wonder what happened to the couch. I'm like, bro, I know you had a bender here while we were away. But like, I just think like there's like, don't allow, like if people aren't happy about having parties in the house, don't have them.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You either need to, if you're renting a room or going into a lease with people, it's either you're happy to each have friends over, or you just don't.
Or you just all agree, being like, hey, let's have some people over tonight. Cool, we all agree to it. We're all keen to party. But I've been in multiple situations with them that I have been in situations being like, everyone please get the fuck out of my house. And they're like, Tori, just chill. And I'm like, no, this is my house. I pay rent here. Like, get out. Anyways, that's my rant over. What's your INFE story?
Went to a wedding.
Another wedding. Oh, is this the Melbourne one?
Yeah, I went to a wedding in Melbourne about a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. Beautiful wedding. It was actually very, very sad. The bride's brother was terminally sick, and the wedding was moved forward to March from like November.
Yeah.
Very sad. And
so that's why it fell on F1 weekend?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, he actually passed away a week ago. So shout out to Lawrence. He's the same age as me, so I felt like that was like very hard hitting. But I just wanted to get in and out because it was just my family. Anyway, I thought I was being smart by getting a Saturday night flight home, right?
Yeah.
8:30. Who the fuck is flying at 8:30 on a Saturday night?
Who?
Apparently everyone from the area. Not kidding. Full flight. And I
Really?
sat up the back because I was like, I'll sit near the toilet in case I need to go, keep my fluids up. It was a day after.
Who are you flying first?
So this is Jetstar because it was, each way was $600.
Oh shit!
On Jetstar
because it was F1
for
weekend.
an hour flight.
That's
'cause F1
insane. I
weekend.
don't know how they can price gouge like that when there's events on. It's actually insane.
Full flight, baby.
F1, the like Open, Sydney Open, whatever it's called. I know Australian Open of tennis, same thing. Like anytime there's something on it, they just price gouge the shit out of it.
I wasn't really offended by the price. It was more so the people. So one, they were like smacking on really loud, and I get it, it's exciting traveling with your friends, but there was 3 rows of them talking across the rows. But that wasn't even the thing that tipped me over the edge. They were watching the UFC on their phones with no AirPods or headphones in.
No, that shit pisses me off.
That's rude. Don't
Yeah,
you reckon?
100%. I actually got my flight home from Townsville, similar thing. They had a kid with an iPad and it was full loud. The loudest it could possibly go. I could hear it halfway down the plane. I was like, as if, 1, someone's not being like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
2, put some headphones on, bro.
I understand the headphone situation because some kids like sensory, they don't like putting stuff on their head. Turn the volume down.
Yeah,
though.
turn the volume
They're
down.
sitting this close, they can hear it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be loud enough for other people to hear.
Yeah.
And also, like, as a parent, your job is literally to micromanage that. Anyway, but that wasn't even the worst bit that I experienced I already had head noise on this flight because the night before at the wedding, so it was my cousin marrying into I think they're Chilean or Cuban or I can't really remember, but the music was not hitting on the husband's side, my family side, because they're all like older,
They want the classics.
they want to hear some Aussie pub songs.
Yeah.
And, you know, my family on the table G'd me up to talk to the DJ because one of the groomsmen said that he takes requests. And I was like, I'll go talk to him. And I just knew that, like, it's not really polite to do so to a DJ.
At a wedding it is. Like, that's,
really?
yeah, 100%. Like, you can do that at a wedding, not at a club. Because that's what they're there for. They're there to play classics and what you want to play. Whereas at a club, you're getting booked to play what the DJ wants to play.
Right. Well, I was nervy, to say the least. So I, like, scooted up to him. Not many people were on the dance floor except for the kids. I went up to him and I'm like, hey, can you play any songs out of this playlist, Aussie pub songs? And it's got a Milo tin as a cover. And he had the thickest accent and was like, can you write it down? Because he didn't understand what I was saying.
Or was he South American?
Must have been.
Yeah.
And I've written it down and I was thinking, wow, that was really random. Like, I just said, like, you know, whatever's on USB, if you've got it,
Yeah.
cool. The night goes on. He's not played any songs that I said. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, then the bride's whole family get up and they're on the dance floor. He was a South American DJ because she's got a South American family and they requested the music.
That's so funny.
That I was like, turn it off.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had massive head noise. And so when I got on the plane and I was like, yappa, yappa, yappa.
That's fair enough to, like, want classics at an Australian wedding.
Yeah. Honestly, let's do a bit of both.
100%.
But it wasn't. It was like Miley Cyrus. But then at the end, he did the Macarena. So I was like, cool.
Sick. There's going to be none of that shit at my wedding, by the way. No,
you don't want the nut push?
No, sir.
Each to their own.
No Eagle Rock with every guy pulling their pants down.
I like that. I want everyone to pull their pants down at my wedding if they sing Eagle Rock. I went to my girlfriend's wedding. Her husband's a massive Manly fan and she's a seabird. And they had pretty much everyone in the room with their dacks down. It was iconic.
Yeah, that was like Cass's wedding too.
Oh, yeah. That was a big DACA one as well.
I'll have to play it next time I play at Wharfie. I do need to make a remix. You did
I
tell me I need to make it. I need to make
yeah.
an Eagle Rock edit.
I would listen to that in the car.
Ah, sweet.
Go Manly. Actually, I'm a Paragirl. But anyway, today we actually don't have a guest. It's me and Tozza for the rest of the episode.
Lucky you guys.
But there's just some stuff that I think that we, you know, it's going on in the world, some convos that we'd like to have, but we just don't usually have the time when we have a guest. So, yeah, I just thought it was fitting, just the two of us. And so we went to Instagram, put a link up. The INFE moments have come through from the GP.
And they're funny.
And they're funny.
Them.
I'm going to just do
We
two,
want to hear
though.
more, though. We want to hear more.
Yeah, and also, like,
more detail.
Yeah, more detail. Don't just send a one-liner.
Yeah.
We need the tea.
100%.
Because there's a really good one in there that just says, I made out with my teacher, but I want to know more. I found out that a guy from work who I had been seeing since December was also seeing another girl from work, and we're friends. I felt so awkward, but now everyone at work hates him, so I feel better. For starters, fuck around, find out at work. It's going to be awkward.
100%.
You don't shit where you eat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get told that often because I often do that.
Well, when I was actually in high school, I had a job at a trampoline centre. So if you want to know how to do a flip, I can definitely teach you. But anyway, I was 17 and I like dabbled a little bit with this guy who was probably like 23 or 24 at the time. Now I look back and I'm like, you're a freak. I was not mature.
That's how I feel about everyone.
I wasn't mature for my age.
Yeah.
You're a freak.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hung out with him and I got the ick a bit. Like, we just were super different. Like, he was like into heavy metal music and stuff, and it's just like not my thing. Anyway, it was fun because he would pick me up from work and pick me up from school and drive me to work on his way to his shift. One time we were hanging out, I decided I didn't want to see him anymore. I told him to his face because I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
I'd rather it face to face than on a text. And he started crying, turned his heavy metal music up really fucking loud.
Started crying.
And just kept driving. And I was like, this is so uncomfortable. Anyway, fortunately, his mate did the roster. So he just made sure we weren't rostered on at the same time. But it was very uncomfortable for a very long time. And after that, I was like, never again.
Yeah.
Never again. Why are you giggling? You
No.
giggling? Workplace.
It made me think of something that someone said to me yesterday. I sent I'm going to Dubai like next week, and I was like to one of my friends, I was like, I really want to hook up with this person. She's like, absolutely not, worst idea you've ever had. She's like, you're not doing that, don't shit where you eat. And I was like, oh my god, so it's funny that we're just bringing that up now.
Yeah, I personally think when you're like a business, essentially, because you're a business, you shouldn't
but it's
burn
hard.
bridges.
Yeah,
in
it
that
definitely
sense.
shouldn't burn bridges, but it's hard sometimes. Like I think we spoke about in Mickey's episode, that when you're constantly hanging around these people, you end up dating people that are in your industry. And it's not just like one workplace, like, you know, we all work at Coles or whatever. It's like the music industry is a very, very broad section. There's a lot of people in it. So regardless of like them being, I actually have one quick story that I dated this DJ. Actually, I don't know if I want to tell this.
You don't have to.
If you don't tell it, and then you can delete it later.
Okay, so story on this topic. I started dating this DJ, and it was great. It was awesome. He ended up fucking me over like big time. Was like, come to Vegas, and me and my friend Alex went to Vegas to see him. And then while we're like an hour away, he was like, nah, like I've actually seen someone else. And
I remember this.
and I was like, what the fuck? And at the time, this was like my first experience dating another DJ, which I don't date DJs anymore. It's a big no-no. And he was actually a really big DJ. So before I started dating him, I actually was like a small fan. And yeah, he fucked me over big time. And then like fucked with my feelings even when we were there, like had me over, and then was like, I like you, I want to be with you. And then was like, actually no. Ended up dating the chick for like 3 years after. 6 months
That's
later.
literally like me.
Yeah.
Theirs was 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. I make a couple of songs. I send it to a label. One of these artists jump on the song, and then he ends up jumping on the song as well. So we like haven't stayed friends. Like we were like amicable, like we didn't hate each other, but he ends up jumping on this song of mine. And I was like, because I thought, holy shit, I've ruined my chance of ever like collaborating with this person. I should have just been friends with him. I really fucked this up. Because he was like a really big DJ. It meant like a lot to me. And the fact that we ended up doing this song together, and then for 6 months of this, him listening to the song and make song, he didn't realize it was me singing on the song. So then like 6 months later, my manager reaches out to him, and he's like, no fucking way. He's like, is that actually you on our song? And I was like, yep. I was like, what are the odds?
It's a really good fuck you.
It was definitely a fuck you, and it so could have been about him, the lyrics as well. But yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, anyways, that's my story about dating in the industry. Okay, second INFE moment sent in. My boyfriend fainted while naked and hit his head. I thought he died, by the way. He hit the floor, and so I screamed. My dad ran in and saw my boyfriend's shriveled penis. Lol.
Daddy saw him on the floor.
That is pretty funny, but what were you guys doing in the bathroom? Like, were they fucking in the bathroom and then that happened?
Just been having a shower.
Oh, they were just having a shower.
Could have been
That would
slippery.
have been even worse. Yeah, okay, that's pretty funny. Love it.
I don't like that. I would have locked the door. Like, I'm sorry. Learn first aid.
Yeah.
Learn first aid. Then you don't have to get your daddy to come help you.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
That is funny though. Send more stories about shriveled penis. It's actually flaccid, but anyway.
So a massive topic recently that's been hitting me hard has been all the festival cancellations. And I don't think a lot of people actually understand what is happening and why it's happening. So obviously we've had Splendor in the Grass cancelled, which is so upsetting for me because that's been bucket list festival. I've been like 10 times, seen all my favourite acts there. Groove in the Moo is another big one. Like I've been to that 5 times. And there's obviously so many others. And what people don't understand is it's not the lineup is shit. It is the fact that people aren't buying tickets and the way that the economy is. So straight after COVID, what happened was the government gave everyone massive grants to fund the music industry, which was amazing. But it kind of created like a false economy for the festivals and for the events because they could afford bigger lineups, like bigger acts, and they could actually afford to put these festivals on straight after COVID. And then a year later, the prices have gone up even more. The lineups have gotten worse. Some festivals have been booking kind of average lineups, but like that's probably because they can't afford what they could have afforded the last year, and then obviously before COVID when they actually had money. And yeah, there's just so many aspects that people don't get it. Like the prices of everything have gone up. Like look at the petrol. Petrol's gone up like doubled in price over the last year. You think about how much petrol you have to take in a festival. The fencing, the security, the stage, the lights, like all of that stuff has gone up 30-40% and people can't afford it. And like I wouldn't be able to afford it. If I was 18, I couldn't afford a $500 ticket to a festival. No. Like could you? And like because when we were 18, festival lineups for one day were $100. And Splendor was $300. Now a festival day for one day, I think Listen Out was like $250.
Yeah,
Splendor's like $500-$600.
Yeah, Splendor for one day was almost $300. But
that's insane.
When you say that they had funding post-COVID,
yeah,
and then obviously had this shock of inflation,
yeah,
and the difference between having those grants. What about when we go pre-COVID, right?
Yeah.
They were booking. And I know it comes down to the cost of living and everything. My take on it is because they have had this gap, they haven't got that capital. They're not sitting on that capital.
So they've had like 3 years of their festival selling out, and then 2 years of COVID. Actually, no, we had the bushfires, and then we had, which a lot of the festivals got cancelled then, and the floods. So then they had that money gone from them. Then COVID, and now and then they had the 1 year that's like, okay, cool, the government gave us so much money, we can put this festival on. And now they're kind of hitting hard from what's been going on.
I think it also, like, obviously with the Sydney festivals, it's a bit different. But if you just look at Grooven and Splendor, right, they're not really in cap cities. So Maitland, it's kind of out of the way.
Yeah, but that was always their thing, was 100%. Doing rural towns. And they've always sold out in the past.
But if you look at consumer behaviour right now, when we were 18, it was cool to hop in a van and go travelling. Or it was cool to, put your boots on and go dance in the mud. Now, there's 17 and 16-year-old girls that are doing 5-6 step skincare routines. They're slicking their hair back. They're wearing blazers. They want to go to Ace Arena and sit on a seat and watch a concert and get, bedazzled. Yeah. They don't want to go camping. They don't want to stand in a mosh.
But we also, we lost that 2 years because of COVID. Just even general music taste, because everyone started enjoying a lot more mainstream music, whereas before people were into more underground stuff. Like I never listened to Top 40 when I was 18. I used to listen to all underground, just house music. But then we have people like Fred again. I love Fred again. I'm not hating on Fred again, by the way, by saying this, but he really fucked us up too, because all my friends that ran events on those nights and all my friends that ran festivals that they just did, they didn't have the people that they would have because Fred again decided to do 8 shows in Sydney. Like he needs to realize that was selfish and was really selfish for all the people and all the events and all the promoters around him, that people didn't actually then go to their shows that they had been planning to prior. Like as I said, love you, Fred again, but like he has to like take accountability that he really fucked up a lot of people. One of my friends lost $5,000 that night because Fred again was on and people didn't come to his event.
My client lost 23,000.
Yeah, and the same he decided to do. He announced like on the day in New Zealand, my friends had a festival there, and it's the same thing. Like he just decides that he's going to take over a city. Great, go do it in a city that has money. Like unfortunately, Australia doesn't have the money to be, and like even my friends that own the island, same thing. Like they got hit hard. Like go do it in a city that has money. Like go to Mykonos and do that. Like Australia can't afford to go to multiple festivals and multiple concerts all the time. So like, you know what I mean? Do one or two, that's fine. Do 8, that's taking the piss.
I think from an outsider perspective, not in the industry, do you think, being an artist, you should be like, wow, that is so cool that being an artist, you can have the power to move everyone straight to your liking. And I think that from that perspective, he's really good marketing angle of,
and he's amazing. And I have so much respect for him.
Didn't care for him, but wanted to go because they saw, okay, my friends went the last 5 nights, so I'm going to go on this night. 100%. Like I almost went and I don't care for it.
100%.
So I don't think it's an artist's responsibility to look up the demographic and the economics of what's going in the area, but I understand that he probably should have, or could have made an effort to, maybe support some of the local venues.
Yeah,
but
he did do that. But I think like doing 7 shows, 8 shows like in one city was just like, come on, bro. Like, he obviously knew that there was other things going on.
Is that like an unspoken rule in the music industry, or?
I don't think it's an unspoken rule, but definitely a lot of people are just keeping quiet and talking about it, like not speaking out loud about it, because they did fuck it. Literally it would have put people into like liquidation, or like they would have lost a lot of money just from him doing that.
Yeah, I think it's 1 or 2 weeks, right? And my take on it is people didn't go and get refunds on their tickets to things, right? People lost money on the door count. When you're in business, you need to be ready for any, macro or micro environments that can essentially affect your business. And that can be now an artist coming in and moving all your traffic. Yeah. That could be a weather thing as well.
I just think in a city like Sydney, there's just like, unfortunately, not enough money. Like people are really scarce on what they're spending their money on right now. So in previous years, there would be like people that go to 5 to 10 concerts a year, and now it's like they're going to 2 to 3 because they can't afford it. So it definitely is hard. But I do think the government has to really step in here to help the music industry. We're the ones that helped out and did all the fun, all the promoters and all the DJs and all the event organizers were the ones that helped out and did the fundraisers for the fires and the fires and the floods. And then we're the ones that got hit in COVID. And now, even like a lot of our upcoming DJs, like they're not going to have a chance to be able to play at any of these Australian festivals.
Like the salvos and everyone that did charity, like it's not, I totally agree with you, but it's not like, the music industry weren't the only people rallying around charity. Of course,
I know, and I'm 100% not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I just think like music is such an important part of our
well-being.
Yeah, our well-being and our mental health and, our lives. If we don't do something, if the government doesn't do something about it, we're going to lose our whole music scene. We're going to lose the whole industry. We won't have festivals anymore. Like something needs to change. I don't know what needs to change, but I don't know. I think at the end of the day, in America, they only had a year of COVID. So a lot of places like Florida were open that whole time. So like the music industry got hit harder than any other country in terms of the fact all the promoters still got to put on their events after 1 year of COVID. We had 2. We had doubled the amount of time. So
do you think maybe Australians now value, let's say, sporting events more than music? Because obviously, one, it's 100% more affordable. You can buy a season pass to the footy the same price as going to a concert. But do you feel like just our culture, we maybe, in terms of entertainment, care more to see a football match than go see...
I'm not 100% sure. Like, I definitely think there is still like a really good scene for music and stuff. I think it's just the prices of things are getting out of hand. Like, you go to a normal club and it's $50, where we went to a club when we were 18, it was $10 entry. Yeah. And now people are paying $30 to $50 entry. Like, that's a lot of money for an 18-year-old that's getting paid $16 an hour.
I was getting paid $16 an hour, but they're not getting paid that now. I employ, from 18 and they're getting paid 25 to 30 straight off the bat, which is usually an undergrad.
I think it's just the cost of living too, though. Like groceries, petrol, like it's all double. It's all double the price. But it's I think something just needs to change, and I guess we'll see in the next year or so, like if we even have any festivals left.
Yeah. Well, even like choosing between, because of the cost of living, realistically, being a single mum, going on holidays is 1000% a luxury. Yeah. Am I going to pick 4 days at Splendor, spending, a couple grand? Because Byron's expensive now. It's a touristy hub spot. Yeah. Airbnb is extremely expensive. It used to be more affordable than a hotel.
And you're scared about the rain because, the camping and stuff like that.
So that's a couple grand. I could spend $5,000 going to Splendor, or I could take my son over to Fiji for a week, have a nanny, all-inclusive food. That doesn't,
100%.
Like that's not even food and alcohol and, outfits. Girls like to, get dressed up. It's an expensive thing. And I would rather opt for a relaxing holiday than going to a festival. But that's just my view. And I feel like a lot of like feminine girls probably feel the same in terms of like they don't want to get dirty. They don't want to go stomping in the dirt. Because it's not my thing. I personally never went to like Lost Paradise or anything like that at Pete's Ridge, because I was like, don't catch me camping there. Yeah. If I'm going camping, I need my fan.
Yeah,
need my
interesting.
blow
I
up
mean, I guess I was
mattress.
on the other spectrum because I went
loved
to
it.
every single one of
Yeah.
those festivals. I got dirty. I got, like, it just depends how much you love the music as well. Like,
Yeah.
I've been like such a music lover for a very long time. Obviously, it is my whole career. But yeah.
Like
yeah.
I grew up going to Justin Bieber concerts, right?
Yeah.
You're seated.
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, even we went to
But
field day.
Yeah.
And remember, I was complaining my back hurt.
I mean, the only three festivals that are, I mean, three of the main festivals are the camping festivals. So
Yeah.
Beyond the Valley, they do amazing. They sell out every year. Lost Paradise, they do amazing. They sell out every year. Pitch Music Festival, they are the same.
Pitch
So
just
they're
had
they're
a
the,
huge
that was
stuff up.
yeah, but that was because of the heat. They can't control the weather.
100%.
Yeah.
But it was more the logistics behind it.
Yeah.
You can't ferry a bunch of, barely adult, 18-year-olds
Yeah.
up in a regional town, tell them it's cancelled and not have any transport to get them out. Like, people were calling their parents and having to drive 3 hours.
Yeah.
Now they're going to have a bad taste on it. Like, I think it comes down to, at the moment, the way things are being organised, the way things are being orchestrated. And I think, obviously I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm going to start a festival.
Yeah.
And it's not my background at all. But
Yeah.
Splendor also, at the end of the day, 5 years ago, Cardi B or whoever it was, and now Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
Are you reaching out to Jenny or me?
Yeah, that was definitely a weird one. I'll admit that, but I think that you can't control the weather in these situations, and you can't. And what people don't really understand as well is, like, so many festivals go into liquidation and go bankrupt because they only make a profit if they sell over 90% of tickets. So it's the highest risk thing to do is to put on a festival. I would absolutely never do it. Don't catch me ever doing that. It's absolutely not ever happening. But to make only a profit if you sell out, pretty much, like, it's it's definitely such a high risk situation. And yeah, unfortunately, like, I think that they just hope for the best, that it's actually going to go well and that there's not going to be floods or those fires or this and that. And, as I said, so many of them have had to cancel in the past. They've already lost so much money. Like, they probably just weren't expecting that, it was going to be like a really hot weather and they were going to have to cancel one of the days.
So the next thing I was thinking of was frenemies, right? So everyone knows what a frenemy is like. And if you don't, I'll give you a quick recap. It's like when you're really close to someone and you, like, have this, like, unspoken competitiveness or, like, just...
Like, they want you to fail.
Yeah.
They want you to fail, or they're just not actually on your side. And I always say, like, you're not friends with someone if you get jealous of them.
Yeah.
Like, get envious, be like, I want to do that with them. But to get jealous is not a friendship.
No. Like, there was this girl, I was friends with her from high school, right? And then the year out of school, I've owned one of my businesses since I was 17 and I worked my ass off. So I went and bought myself an Audi, right? Loved it. And, when you are buying a new car, you can do the specs and, add on extras. Like, I wanted to add on a sunroof and, I was really excited. That was my baby. That was, like, why I was working hard. And this frenemy was like, oh my God, love your car. It's so cool. Wanted to take a photo of the booklet or whatever, where they write up exactly what your car is included in. Anyway, she went and took it to the salesperson, got the exact same car. That's cool. Matching cars. Love that for us. But it started being like, oh, my car's actually newer than yours. And I was like, okay.
I hate when people try, like, up you on something. And it's like, no one cares. No,
it's
did I
only
fucking
newer
ask?
because, like, you purchased it just after me. It wasn't like, anyway, it was just, like, kind of weird. And then I feel like she had this mentality of, if I was with a guy, she could get him too.
Oh my God, I've had this happen. Yeah.
So I dated...
It's gross.
I would date a guy and she would be like, oh, you're too good for him, or you should end it with him. And then I would, and then she would go and get with that guy.
Yeah.
Like, one time before I was moving to LA, I was seeing this guy and it was not meant to be a thing. It was just, we were meant to be casual. We caught feelings for each other, but I was moving. And she said to me, you really need to end things with him. Like, it's not fair on him. I ended things with him. I was really sad. He was really sad. I went to LA and I thought we would stay in touch. Didn't hear from him. And I kept being like, hey, this is just, like, really weird and I kind of want closure.
Yeah.
What's going on? And he wrote back to me being like, you should ask frenemy why.
Oh my
she
God.
fucked him as soon as I got to LA.
That's fucking cool.
Right.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
even when we went to Bali one time, I was interested in this guy and I was like, let's split up because I saw him a few nights prior. What's the skateboard bowl called? Poison
Pretty
Ivy?
Poison.
Oh, Pretty Poison.
Yeah.
Anyway, went back there to find him and I said to her, let's split up. We'll go find him. And I turn around and she's literally hooking up with him.
No way.
Yeah, so I
That's
stopped.
so cool.
So cooked. I stopped being friends with her because I'm like, one, she was just always talking poorly about people, and I thought, you know, if you can talk about me like that so freely, talk about others so freely like that, like what are you saying
100%
about me?
Yeah,
and that just is not the type of person I want to align myself with. And I thought just because I've been friends with someone for a long time doesn't make them a good friend. It just
100%.
means like I've known them for a long time. So
100%.
decided to cut her out. Few years passes, she ends up, we move across the road from each other, and she hit me up being like, hey, I got a dog, do you mind puppy sitting for me? And I was just like, sure, whatever. We then became friends again. Yeah, I just was like, I don't know why I did that, but anyway, we become friends again for probably about 12 months. Didn't last very long, because then she started comparing our boyfriends at the time.
Oh God.
Being like, just kind of being like, oh, yours is shit, yours is this, but you know. And I just got to the point where I was like, do not talk about someone in my circle to me like that. Like, I just ended up blocking her on everything.
Yeah, good.
This is where it gets kind of like, I don't want to say karma because this is so mean, but it kind of is. So the baby daddy and I, like probably a few months ago, were exiting my building, and we step outside, and this is sad because she's also got a child. And her boyfriend is sitting in a van or truck or whatever, and we literally just watched this girl walk and hop into his van, and they drove off.
Way.
And we both just looked at each other and we were like, not our problem.
Fucking hell. Oh God,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
But yeah, that's like my only really like frenemy interaction I've ever had. But yeah, it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. I have a similar one with the like boyfriend thing. I mean, he wasn't my boyfriend, but I was seeing someone, and this girl was like, he's not good for you. He sucks. Like, don't be with him. I don't like you guys together. Like, you can do so much better. And then I ended up finding out that we actually were on my birthday trip in Byron, and I ended up, one of his friends was like, and she was sharing a room with me, and one of his friends was like, Tori, she got with so-and-so. And I was like, you've actually got to be taking the piss. This is like the one girl that was like, don't hang out with him. Don't, like, he's not good for you. And I was like, wow, okay. Anyways, that was cooked. But I definitely have another frenemy story, because I had a best friend. Like, we did everything together, and I did everything for this girl. But it got to the point where we were modeling at the time, and I would get a modeling job. We'd both get offered the modeling job, and then I'd maybe get it, and she'd be like, I feel in competition with you. I hate being in competition with you. I should have got that modeling job. I'm like, dude, can't you be happy for me? Like, or we would get we'd get similar jobs, and she was constantly being to my face, not even like thinking it in her head, being like, I feel so in competition with you, like this is so fucked, like can't believe you got that over me.
Very uncomfortable, because what are you meant to say back to that?
I was just like, this is so weird. And you know, she did so many horrible things to me, but the funniest thing about it is, like, I don't even think about this person until you just brought it, like, frenemies up. And she's come on her TikTok recently and on her Instagram and started posting about it. I'm like, babe, did you ask yourself those questions? Because no one gives a fuck that we're not friends anymore.
But she's also like almost 30.
Yeah, you're almost 30 and talking about something that happened 10 years ago. Like, honestly, just get over it. Like, move on. Like, you were crazy.
If you're
like,
30,
I have
stop
screen
doing
like
that.
Yeah, like, you know, I think at the time, it was so long ago, I can't remember. I had screenshots of all like the like lies and like that she would say, and it was just like, it was honestly such a funny situation.
It is interesting though, because I think she since came out saying she had BPD or something. So you kind of can look back and be like, that kind of makes sense. But at the same time, it's like, fuck,
just
what
get over it,
egg.
move on, babe. Like, get some like make some friends and just move on. Like, we don't need to talk about it anymore.
But I think what you need to also include is the fact that when she put this on her story, she used a photo of you.
Yeah, she used a photo of me and was like, and then blanked out like my name, and then it was like, oh, so you're asking if I'm still friends with blanked out name with a photo of me in the background. I was like, bro. I was like, someone said it to me, and I was
sort
like,
of stuff though.
But I was
then
also
I
just
stopped
like,
working with her.
oh yeah, a lot of people did. Like, I remember she hit up a couple of the companies that I was working for, like, can we collaborate? I was like, fuck off.
Yeah. Well, actually, some of my clients were working with her, and I was like, hey, just letting you know that she's, you know, causing
She's
some
trying
toxicity.
to shame me. Yeah, and trying to shame me. Like, she has hundreds of thousands of followers. Like, trying to shame me on Instagram 10 years later, babe. Get over it. Just get over it.
I'm a fucking nada. So, this is an interesting one because it's our game segment. And
generally, we do this to our guest.
generally do this to our guests, but also what I'm excited about is usually I just like think of a random game off the top of my head, but now it's my turn to get gamed. But my game for you, what I came up with, I don't know if you're going to do it as well, but smash or pass.
Okay, so is it like smash as in like get with a guy or something, or is that what smash means? Okay.
Yeah, or like kind of.
Like hot or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first one is, he comes from a rich family but scared of flying, so every time you guys have to fly somewhere, his mum's got to come with you.
Pass. Like, what? No, goodbye.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
Your ideal medium ugly, medium rich guy, but your marriage only lasts tops 3 years.
Pass.
Okay. The hottest billionaire in the world lives in Sydney but says you can't bender, party or anything related, including DJing, not even sober, because he also doesn't want you around other guys when he's not around.
Pass. Goodbye.
A guy you really, really like but has slept with all of your friends.
Pass.
I reckon if you had a few drinks in you would have said smash to a couple of them.
Yeah. Fucking hell, that is so funny. But no, I'll be the billionaire in this story.
Yeah, you are the billionaire, baby.
Okay, so my game, I actually made 2. Which one should I do? Okay, I'm just going to go cheating or not cheating, what you think. And like, okay, yeah. So, because me and Skye have different views on a lot of things, that what is cheating and what is not cheating. Okay, so messages a girl on Instagram.
I don't think it's cheating, but I'll definitely flog ya. Fuck that.
Likes a girl's bikini post on Instagram.
I wouldn't date someone that does that. Like, not even my ex did that.
Yeah, but what if it was like me? They liked my photo.
Okay, so here's my thing. Friends that you actually are friends with. It's not someone that you know of.
Yeah.
And also, it can't be someone that, like, your girlfriend gets the shits about. Even if it's internally. Like, obviously, when you're in a relationship, you talk very, like, openly. And if you talk about someone giving you the shits and then you're liking their photo, fuck off.
For sure. Okay. Gets strippers at a bucks party but doesn't tell you.
Like, strippers are definitely not cheating, but why be weird?
Yeah, why be weird? You're 100%. I don't think that's cheating at all. I'd be like, go,
and like,
bye.
also, it's so funny because I'll probably know them and they'll tell me everything.
Watches porn without you.
I don't give a fuck if you want to see someone's giant cock going into someone else's vagina. That's
Okay.
on you. I don't want to watch that.
Gets happy ending at a massage place.
Well, we all know what happened when that thing. I said, "Fuck, you'll pay me."
Okay, can I do my other game just because I want to do it?
Okay.
Okay.
Round 2.
Okay.
Ding, ding.
It's called the Wear Challenge. You've probably seen it on Instagram.
The what challenge?
The Wear, when you're like, oh, hot boy that dates, and then you got to yell out where. So yeah, you got to either yell out where or yeah, nah, but you got to do it obviously really fast.
Yeah.
Footy player.
Where?
Gaslighter. You do it fast. Come on.
I don't want where.
Yeah. So you go yeah, nah.
Oh, yeah, nah.
Curly hair DJ.
Yeah, nah.
You sure about that?
Who's curly hair DJ? LMFAO. Curly hair DJ. I love you, Adam Hyde. So.
Broken probably drives a truck.
Yeah, nah. Their family has to own the company.
Waved at you once.
Where?
Mama's boy.
Yeah, nah.
Gym bro.
Where?
Anyway, this one.
That's actually like pressure.
So that concludes our first ever episode, just you and me, and I was really scared. So
Were you?
Yeah, I actually was. I was like, do we have enough to say? But we had so much more we wanted to say, but
Yeah,
we need to
didn't
like
cover
wrap
it all.
that shit up.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to A Bit Rogue, where we uncover the stories of athletes, artists, and celebrities with their most rogue moments. Episodes dropping every Wednesday.